Oh, hey guys. Fuck. That's okay. We can get it. All right. Hey guys, what's?
I'll do it.
No, I got it.
Regulators sports show.
1, 2. Wait. Hey, Preston, count down for me like Freddy.
3.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Mikey, and you guys already know this is MFJ, and this is our Regulators sports debate, and this is episode 2. And this one's not going to be as long as the last one. This one we actually have a set topic, and it's going to be our team's breakdown. We're going to break down both of our teams. We're going to give the 10 players that we think should be the starters and the backups, in our personal opinions. And it's not going to reflect on what actually is going to happen because we don't know, because both our teams change so much, like in huge ways. So we don't really know how the coaches are going to start the teams. So this is just how we feel for the top 10 players on the team, on our teams. So anything you want to add?
We're also going to rate each other's team, how we feel about each player in that position, like what number out of 1 to 10, and give over on 100 how good that team should be.
Out of the top 10.
Out of the top 10. And keep it in mind, ratings aren't going to be like, oh, this team should be 100 because of this. It doesn't matter. We're giving each player a rating.
An honest rating. We're not going to be biased, even though I would be biased with a lot of players on here. But I chose an honest number of what I thought they were overall right now.
So first, we're going to start with our point guards, and we're going to talk about them, our starting point guards. You go first.
All right. So obviously, my starting point guard is Derrick Rose. So I gave him a 9. The reason why I gave him a 9, because you could argue that he's a 10, because he's a former MVP. He's probably the best point guard. But the reason that I gave him a 9 is just because I haven't seen him play for so long. Like, USA basketball, I don't count it. Last year's preseason, I don't really count it in, like, the 10 games he played in the season. So I need to see MVP Derrick Rose before I give him the 10, which I would normally say he would be. But I give him a 9 because of the injuries and all that. But even with all the injuries and all that, seeing him on USA against Brazil and the exhibition game before PG got hurt, he's amazing. He looks faster than he was before. So I think that he's still probably one of the greatest point guards in the game right now. So yeah, that's what I gave my point guard.
I agree with his point guard being a 9. Derrick Rose, honestly, probably the best point guard when healthy in the league. Arguably is. I mean, no one really compares against him. He can assist, he rebounds, he scores. He's the perfect package. He's not wrong with him. I'd personally give him 9 or 10, either or. I agree with him. Let him show his dominance again. Make sure he plays more than 10 games this season. If he's healthy, he's a 10. All right, now my point guard. So obviously, I think the starter should be Jeremy Lin. I gave him a 7, though, due to the fact, he hasn't really shined that much. Also, injuries and everything. He'd probably be a little bit better. Maybe with the new team, a team that actually shows him more respect than Houston did. Knicks loved him, but they let him go for some reason. I think he could shine again, like he did with the Knicks. Played great. He was honestly their biggest player. They still had Melo. Made no sense, but he has a big fan base. I feel like Jeremy Lin's a 7. He's a decent scorer. He could get to the rim. He's a great player. Alongside Kobe and all them, he should be doing good. He'll be basically a point guard, what he should be doing, assisting and doing what he needs to do.
I agree with the 7, but I would give Jeremy Lin a 6 because I think that he's kind of like he has to prove himself again. Like, and if he is a starter, then he's definitely gonna have to prove himself again because in Houston he started a starter, then he went to a backup, and then kind of Patrick Beverly took his shine over there. But if Jeremy Lin plays to what I think he can play in the Lakers, especially if he can thrive in that environment, he could be a 7, maybe even an 8. But I give him a 6 now because I'm giving him like a rookie, an advanced rookie start. Like because normally I would rate a rookie 5 or even lower if he sucks. But if it's a really good rookie, I give him a 6.
We know what you're gonna keep.
Yeah. So that's pretty much. I know he's capable of a 7. I know he's capable maybe even a more 8. But I don't. But that's 8 is like a stretch. But I do think he could be a really good starter if he embraces the LA Nation's their love and their environment well. If he takes it well, so yeah.
We love our players, or we'll hate you.
But all right, so I'll go on my shooting guards. So we're gonna move to shooting guards. So the shooting guard, I think it should be Jimmy Butler still, and I'm gonna give him a 7. I think that he has the potential to be great, but I think that he really is very inconsistent on his scoring and defense. He's superb. I think he's amazing at defense, but just scoring and being consistent overall in every game. I think he just needs to work on that. So I gave him a 7 just because he is a great player. He's young. He has a lot of improvement to do, and that's why I gave Jimmy Butler a 7.
I agree with that 7 for Butler. To me, Butler, like you said, could be a great person. I could see him being like a Pippen of a team. He's great defensively. He does need to work on his offense. Pippen had to do the same thing when he started off. He could be that type of caliber of player. And I personally see him, if he plays great this year, if he can get more scoring, I could even give him a 7 or 8. I mean, he'd be an 8 easily. He just needs to get offense because he already has the defense.
Yeah.
Defense, you can't really teach that well. I mean, you can try, but most players don't pick it up. If they have it or they don't.
Either born with it or you're...
And my scoring guard, Kobe Bryant, obviously he's a 10. I mean, one of the greatest ever. Even at his age, he can still average 30 points whenever he feels like. He's starting to score more. He's starting to rebound. He's doing what he needs to do. I mean, he's always scored a rebound, but he's starting to do it more, showing that he can play like a true player. Because everyone called him out. And then all these people saying that Kobe Bryant's too old, he's not going to, you're just making him thrive more. Keep talking crap, basically.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I agree. Kobe Bryant's 10. Easy, hands down. I don't care about his age. He's my favorite player. He's my idol growing up watching basketball because the last memory I remember of watching Jordan, who is my favorite player overall, but the last memory I remember of him is when I was 4. So I grew up watching Kobe, so he's my favorite player of all time. So I give him a 10, biasly, and the way he proves it every night when he plays. He's a 10. I don't care about his age. He's only a year and a half older than he was when he was averaging 40 minutes every game for the last 10 games straight. So,
and averaging 35 points.
And so I mean there's no doubt in me that he's gonna come back stronger and better than ever. I think he actually might be even more a little bit more better shooting. I think that he's had the time to take a break shooting, and I think that practicing a shot, I think he's going to be better. He's rested too, so he was worn out. He was carrying the Lakers to make the playoffs for when we get to Dwight Howard, and then they blew it anyway. He injured himself for nothing. So yeah.
Too much.
All right, so my small forward, I'm not really sure exactly who's going to start, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Doug McDermott. I mean, we've had rumors of Taj Gibson coming in playing a big 3, but I'm not sure. But I think the smart decision was put in Doug McDermott, our rookie, McBuckets, and I gave him a 6. I gave him a 6 because I think that he played 4 years in college. He knows the game of basketball. He's smart. He's a very good shooter. I think that he's able to. He has the same post moves in a sense of he kind of reminds me of Dirk. I think if he can master that in the NBA level, I think he could be even better than a 6. But I give him a 6 just because of his shooting and how impressive he was in the summer league, and the fact that he was the NCAA's leading scorer last year. So I think that he's a really good player, and I see a lot of potential in him. But yeah, that's my choice on him.
I agree with this completely. Honestly, Durant is going to be good if he stays consistent scoring, which is the Bulls need, is a little bit more score. He easily is going to be like a Hornets type of a team. Gets his scoring, gets his shots, does what he needs to do, and that should help that team out perfectly. I give him a 6 right now too. But I can see him by the end of the season, if he's scoring, does what he needs to do, he can even be a 7 or an 8. Just depends on how he starts. And he should start, I think, as a true small forward, unless they do go, like you said, Taj Gibson, which also my Lakers are also hearing rumors of Randle playing small forward. I mean, he's a power forward, but things happen in this league. We don't know why they do things, but sometimes they work.
They're athletic enough to do it.
They are athletic enough to do it. I mean, honestly, my small forward, this one's a little confusing because, like I said, it could be, and we have 3 different 4 people. Even. Yeah, 3. We have Nick Young, Wesley Johnson, or even Randle, like I said, if they go big. But Nick Young likes to come off the bench, but I personally see him starting this year maybe because they really don't want Wesley Johnson starting.
He's got to prove his worth to Iggy.
He does.
She's making the most money in that relationship. Just kidding. No, she's not. All right.
But no. So Nick Young, I gave him a 7. He showed that he is decent enough to be basically a starter of a team. He could even be a star of a team. He's a little old now. I mean, he hasn't get his real shots till now.
He's a little young.
He's still young. I mean, he's still like his 7th, 8th year. No, it's like his 8th year now, right?
I don't know.
He's been in the league quite a bit now, but I mean, he's getting his time now. He's showing he can score. He can do what he needs to do. I see Nick Young. I give him a 7. Like I say, he can rebound, he can score. He's athletic. He's a nuisance on the defense. Yeah, last year he didn't play that way with the defense, but I watch you go over the past years.
But look at the coach.
Look at the coach too. I mean, fuck D'Antoni.
None of the Lakers play defense.
None of my team played defense. Yeah, they're horrible.
Because it wasn't required of them.
Our defense was let them take the shot. If it misses, grab it. If not, we try to match it. Literally, that was the defense of the Lakers. D'Antoni is an idiot. But Nick Young, he showed against, like, when I watched him live against the Jazz, he fucking he was a nuisance. They hated him. I mean, Jazz ain't a good team, but Gordon Hayward is a decent small forward, and you could not shut down Nick Young.
He's a 7-year.
7th year, so he still has a few years left in him. I mean, he got like 10 tops. I mean, he can still play a long time.
He has a good 7 years left too.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, he could do 10.
I'm saying 17 years is a scoring guard nowadays. That's all I'm playing.
That's nothing. I mean, it just depends on how they work themselves. But I agree with 7. I actually think that Nick could even be like a 7.5 or an 8. I think with his potential. I mean, he's a great scorer. He's a great defender with the right, coaching. I mean, it could push him to do it. I mean, I don't blame anyone on the Lakers for not playing a lot of defense last year. It wasn't required. So yeah. So Nick, I agree with what he rated Nick.
All right, I'll take a round for the power forward. Power forward, obviously, I think it's going to be Boozer starting. He's the veteran. He knows what he's doing more or less. He can also lose the spot though to Ed Davis or Randle, depending on what they want. Boozer, though, I rate him a 6. Because he still has to show what he's got. He's a great player overall. Last year he had his problems with minutes cutting and all that stuff, and like he lacked on defense a lot, and he was losing clutchness. He got his rebounds. He still averaged about 8 to 9 rebounds, and that was on reduced minutes, and he averaged about 13 points. Yeah, he's that type of caliber player who should be getting 20 and 10. He is. If he can get back to that, he'll be easily back up to an 8 player, which is what he was probably with the Jazz more or less. That's when he was at his prime more. But he did good the first year with the Bulls, but then Taj Gibson came into play, and Taj Gibson's honestly younger and looks better. But I still see Boozer could be a 8 by the end of the year if he's playing great, if we make the playoffs, and if he's a big piece, if he's averaging at least 15 and 10, I'll give him an 8, just because that's all he needs for him. We have a lot of scorers now. We need more defense, and he has good defense if he plays it. Plus, he came from the best defensive coach mind coach ever. Thibodeau is beast defense. So, yours.
I agree. I mean, I think that you could rate him a 7. I mean, Boozer, he's a great player. He needs to work on his defense. I think that's the biggest thing that he had a problem with, and I think that's why my coach favored Taj more at the end, just because Taj played better defense. I mean, Boozer's a good offensive player. He kind of got, kind of rusty last year. I think it's just because of the lack of minutes he was getting. I don't think he was used to it. I think he's used to being the starter or at least the best power forward on the team / center. So I think he just, probably just not as confident. That's what I think was wrong with him. But yeah, I agree. My power forward, I think it's gonna be Pau. I think it's gonna be Pau Gasol. So I rated him a 7. I rated him a 7 because Pau, to me, he needs to learn a lot more about defense, in my opinion. He has never really been the best defensive player. He's never really been taught that. I mean, the best person that could have taught him it was Phil, and he didn't really have much time with Phil, and I just don't think he really focused on that. I think he was just a scorer, and that's the same thing. I think Pau's a great scorer, and he's a good rebounder. So I think that if he plays the way I think he is, and he's getting into shape, so if this whole FIBA Cup, if he can play good with Spain and get in shape more, he can get back to normal, and he could be back to being like an 8 or something. But I give him a 7 for now. Yeah.
I'd give him like a 7 or even a 6. Also, like Boozer, I said he needs to earn what he has to do. I mean, also his is coach reasons too. Lack of defense, coach. I mean, D'Antoni was an idiot. But like I said, Pau, there were some things I didn't like about his defense. He did get his points, and he did get his rebounds. You can't take it from any block. But a lot of the times he would just let people run by him and wouldn't get in the way. Like I said, but it was our coach's fault. Maybe over here he'll play differently. Hopefully he doesn't get sluggish like he was getting with us. If he does, he'll back, like I said, up to an 8 or 9. His Pau Gasol in his prime was great. Big reason we won 2 championships. The coach was the main.
All right, and my center, I got Jokim Noah, and I give him an 8. I think he's been improving a lot the last couple years, and especially last year, he took the leadership role with Derrick Rose being hurt again. So I give Jokim an 8, and that's all I really gotta say. I think he's gonna be great. The only thing I will say about Jokim is he gotta get better consistently on offense. That's the only thing. But other than that, he's great. And I can't fucking speak again.
I know.
They call me Stuttering Mikey.
I agree with him completely. Noah, if he gets better offensively, he's a 9. Right now I have him as 8-2. He's great defensively. He's a great passer, big man, just like Pau, which that could be a deadly duo. 2 big men that can pass, it's rare.
My team would be amazing.
It'll remind me just like the way him and Bryant play together, because they did pass. They love passing to each other, and those two were an offensive duo, because how are you going to stop 2 big men who are above 7 feet?
It also reminds me of the original Twin Towers.
Tim Duncan?
No, and the original.
Which one?
Hakeem Olajuwon and I can't remember his name. The other center, I can't remember his name, but it was a center. It was when it's in '84 is when they drafted him a year before, and then they drafted Hakeem in '84, and they named them the Twin Towers back then. I can't remember his name though. But that would remind me of them because they both were able to pass the ball and everything. Same thing with Timmy and David.
Yeah, David Robinson, Timmy, they were also big Twin Towers. They could pass the ball great. That's why they were great. That's why the Bulls are going to be a deadly team. And plus, Taj is also a big man who can pass the ball.
Then we'll get to him.
That trio is just going to be big. If they put all 3 of them in at once, how are you going to get into that paint? That paint's basically blocked off. Good luck to Dwight Howard with that 3. My center, obviously, I think it's going to be Jordan Hill. The only reason he resigned, he said that he wanted to start a role. They told him it was going to get it. I could see him play that starter role pretty good. I'm getting him a 7 though right now. He's a great offensive rebounder. Probably one of the best in the league. And the only thing he needs to work on is probably expanding his range and a little bit of shooting. At least get like a closer range. I mean, because the farthest I've seen him shoot, it's probably like 10 feet. And he hits it consistently. But if he can get out to 15, he spreads the floor a lot more. His defense, he's great at defense. He just needs to be smart and not foul. He fouls quite a bit. If he could just play that defense better where he just jumps straight up. I mean, in this NBA now, you can't even look at somewhere they call a foul, to be honest. But I give him a 7. I think his defense needs a little increase. His offense just with a little bit more range. He'll be a deadly player.
All right, so I think with this part, this is the backups. So we're going to choose one that we're going to talk about extensively, and the rest of them we're just going to name the ratings we gave them, just to cut down time, and just because, and then we'll go into depth about the bench warmers and all that in a different video. But for this one, I got Hinrich at point guard. I gave him 6. Tony Snell, gave him 6. Dunleavey, gave him a 4. Gibson, gave him an 8. MIrotic, gave him a 7. And I'll talk about Gibson after he names his.
All right, my point guard, I got Nash. I gave him a 5. I got Henry at scoring guard. I gave him a 7. Small forward, I got Wesley Johnson. And I have 2 power forwards because we don't really have a true center. I got Randle and Davis at Davis. And there you got 6 for Randle and 7 for Ed Davis.
And who are you going to talk about?
I'm going to talk about probably Ed Davis.
All right, so with Gibson, there's not much I can say else about him other than the fact that he's proved that he should be a starter, but with the moves that we made, I don't really know how that's going to work because Pau's a starter. But Gibson, I think he's a great power forward. I think he could play small forward if they ended up doing that route. I think that he's really good defensively, probably one of the better defenders on my team, even though my whole team is pretty much a defense team. I think that he's a great scorer. I think he's a good scorer and all that, and I think that he has potential to be a really good starter for a team, especially if he sticks with my team, and then when Pau's done in a couple of years, I guess could be the starter for the Bulls. That's it.
I agree with them. Everything sound there. Taj is a badass. Me, Ed Davis. The reason I'm talking about him is he really wasn't getting minutes on most teams he played on, like Memphis, and I think he played for one more team. But reduced minutes. But when Zebo got ejected, he came in, played a great last game, got plus I think 15 points. He shows he could be a dominant force in this NBA. Due to lack of minutes, like most of my team that I had on the bench anyways, with more minutes they produce. They're young, like I said, they're driven players. I think Davis can honestly be maybe a 15-10 guy too. If he gets it going, he can even replace Boozer as a starter. Boozer doesn't keep it up. That's the reason. The big thing about him, I gave him a 7, is I saw the way he plays defensively. That's one thing he did still with Memphis, even with his like 15 minutes. He came in and he blocked shots. He got his rebounds. I mean, he averaged like 7 or 8 rebounds and 10 points and like 2 blocks or 1 block. It was like 1 point, 2 blocks. But he did that all like 11 minutes, 12 minutes he played. I mean, with Randle on the team and with Mark, you really don't get time because they rather put one of them as power forward and figure in the other center they had. But I think over here he's going to get his time. The Lakers are excited to have him. He might get backup center, backup power forward. He's pretty tall. He's big. In this league, you don't have to be tall to be a center anymore.
No.
You got 6'9" centers in the league. I mean, it makes no sense. But I could see him being a decent player, being a big bench player, probably being 6 man if Nick Young starts, unless Nick Young wants to be a bench player again. I see Davis being a center. I mean, 6 man.
All right, so that's our team breakdowns of our 2 favorite teams, Chicago Bulls and Los Angeles Lakers. And that's so my team. I got them at 69 out of 100 for the players I chose. So we will do an updated version of this when the actual starters get announced. And actually, we once we see them all play too, so we can update
Probably
their
after the end of
ratings.
preseason.
Yeah, so at the end of preseason, we'll see what we're gonna do with that. So I got 69 out of 100, and
We got 68 out of 100.
and you guys may think that might be low, and it might be. You never know, but that's our honest opinion. We didn't want to kind of favor our players on our teams. Just
You guys gotta
because-
understand. It's also be like if we did Cleveland, they'd probably have like a 60-something out of something because all their players are great.
Yeah.
You got Kyrie and as right now LeBron.
I mean, and you still got 2 more players, so it should have been out of 120. And
it'll jump up to
at least 2 more players. It could be less. It could be more.
Unless you're my team injury prone, then you have like 30 players
Exactly.
last year.
So yeah, actually, I wanted to say, if you guys are watching this and you guys actually like this shit, leave in the comments 2 teams you want us to break down in the next video.
And we'll break down
In the next breakdown video.
Trust me, we're really honest. I mean, I may say I don't like LeBron, but I'd still rate him a 10 because he's amazing.
LeBron's a 10.
Like, he's
We
amazing.
give him crap, but he's a 10. Kevin Durant is a 10.
Durant's a 10. Melo's a 10. Like,
Melo's a 10.
Derrick Rose, like we said, due to injury, but otherwise he's a 10.
Yeah, and the one person I wouldn't say a 10, and a lot of people would, is Chris Paul. I would give him a 9.
I'd give Chris Paul a 9, maybe even an 8. He seems to be clutch moments is killing him. Blake Griffin, I'd give him a 10.
Yeah. So yeah, leave 2 teams, or just leave teams. Just whoever's watching this, just leave teams, and we'll choose 2 teams to do for the next breakdown video. But the next video won't be a breakdown video.
Preferably East or West, and we'll just do East and West. That way we always get it done.
Yeah, because it's easier. Because I'm usually an East Side
And I'm West.
watcher because I have to watch the Bulls, and they usually play East Side. And he watches
Except
the
when it
West.
comes to OKC and Cleveland. He'd do OKC and I do Cleveland. Because that's
Yeah.
my second team. That's your teams.
Well, Spurs is my second team.
That's Spurs don't count. They're 100.
They're 100 team.
We rate everyone 10.
Everyone's a 10 on the Spurs. All right,
All right.
so yeah,
That's our show for the
that's
day.
a show for the day.
We'll probably be back with another one soon. We're trying to do player breakdowns. We might do twice a week. Or
Yeah.
team breakdowns.
Yeah, team breakdowns probably twice a week, and we'll have our show. Our show was pretty much like a podcast, if you guys are familiar with kind of stuff like this. But it's our show that you guys seen yesterday.
And that way you guys
Last
watch
video.
these two so you guys know when we talk about certain teams what we thought their failures, why we explain they're going to be good or why not. That way you're not we're expecting what we're going to say.
And make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. He's gonna make his Twitter.
He has his.
I already have my Twitter. You guys already know it, so it's in the description, and his link will be in the description because it'll be up. He'll have it ready by then. So
Tonight, so.
yeah. So add us, follow us on Twitter, and ask us questions about sports and shit. So yeah.
Trust me, we know our sports. We're very sports enthusiastic. We love every sport. Even golf, we know things about everything. Like
We
you said.
can literally go on for hours on this shit.
Yep.
So yeah.
We're legitly like I said, we're not like sports and that shit where they're so one sided. Like literally for one while it was a LeBron show. Like come on, there's other things happening in the league people want to hear about. Like Greg Monroe. What the hell no one want to hear about him? He's probably one of the best rising power forwards.
Exactly.
Nothing to talk about him.
We'll talk about him in the next video. So make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends to watch it, tell your family to watch it, tell your girlfriend to watch it, tell your side bitch to watch it. Just tell people to watch it.
Don't worry, we won't rat on you with side bitches.
Yeah, exactly. We love the side bitches. I love my horse.
We out.
I'm still here.